UFC Fight Night Hill versus Rountree just concluded. I'm here to give you my instant reaction of each fight on this card. Starting off first with the first fight of the night, Mohammed Usman versus Hamdi Abdelwahab. This fight was very close. A few people said robbery, which I completely do not agree. I feel like Mohammed Usman did enough to beat Hamdi Abdelwahab. I mean, there wasn't a lot of activity. I picked Hamdi, so. And I know Mohammed Usman won that fight, especially at the end of the third round of the last round. He definitely did enough to beat Hamdi Abdelwahab, but overall this fight was it wasn't that great. I knew it wasn't going to be high level, but keep in mind that Hamdi is an Olympic, guys. This guy's an Olympian, and he just doesn't use that to his advantage for some reason. But what can I say? It was a very close fight that could have gone either way, but I wasn't even mad that they gave it to Mohammed Usman. Moving on to Tagir Ulanbekov versus Azat Maksum. Now, I am not gonna lie to you guys, this was definitely a robbery. Azat Maksum definitely did enough to beat Tagir Ulanbekov. I don't know the stats, and I'm not even gonna look at the stats, but I'm pretty sure Azat Maksum, I think he defended every single takedown, or if not, most of them, like 90% of them, I'm pretty sure, because Ulanbekov could not take down Maksum. He tried to do that pickup takedown thing that he usually does, but he realized he couldn't do it when, you know, because Azat is basically the same size or height as Ulanbekov. So when you try to do that when an opponent is the same freaking height as you, it is very hard to pull it off. And every time you try to pick him up and throw him down the way he does, specifically the way Ulanbekov does it, he just lands on his feet. He did it like twice in the first round. He landed on his feet. And I'm not going to lie to you, Ulanbekov has a gas thing, because he tried to go for some insane takedowns, and it looked like he was probably going to gas. But, you know, the gas thing were pretty much even the entire fight, but I just think Maksum did more every single round of this fight. And I think it was a robbery in my opinion, but I guess I did pick Ulanbekov to win. So at the end of the day, you know, he won. So I guess I'll take it. I'm not going to lie to you. Moving on to Klaudia Syguła versus Irina Alekseeva. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I did pick Irina Alekseeva, but these two, the two WMMA fights in a row, if I'm being completely honest, I just said, you know, Alekseeva looks like, you know, the more intimidating fighter, so I'm gonna go with her. So I'm not gonna talk a lot about these two fights. Yeah, I picked Alekseeva to win. She lost. Moving on to Daria Zheleznyakova, I think her name is, versus Melissa Mullins. I picked Melissa Mullins to win, and she was also the moderate favorite on this fight too. But yeah, I got my prediction wrong. 2 back-to-back losses like that, you know, it was whatever. You know, these two fights I didn't really pick with a lot of information, so I wasn't really mad. But yeah, whatever. Moving on to Yong Park versus Ismail Naurdiev. I mean, Naurdiev literally tried to murder Jung Park with a knee when he was kneeled, bro. If you were there, I don't know how Yong Park kept going. I mean, the guy got eye poked twice and a knee to the face that literally made his eye almost shot. He had like a cut above the brow, and the referee, thank God, he took 2 points away Ismail Naurdiev. And yeah, I mean, Yong Park was even winning the fight. It wasn't like he was losing. He was winning the fight. And even after Naurdiev did that illegal knee to the freaking head that opened Yong Park up, Yong Park was still putting the pressure on Ismail Naurdiev, yo. So shout out to Yong Park. This guy fights like a dog. I really enjoyed this fight. It was a very good fight. Moving on to Syguła KO versus Oban Elliott. Should we start saying fraud checked? I mean, should we say Oban Elliott got fraud? I mean, I don't think we should start saying that, but I was definitely surprised of this fight. The way Seokhyeon KO, I'm just gonna call him KO. I need to stop trying to pronounce his name. KO definitely. I think he 3-0'd Oban Elliott in my opinion. He 3-0'd him, guys. That is absolutely insane, man. I mean, I don't even know. I don't really got much to say. Then he literally got Nurmagomedov. He literally got Nurmagomedov by KO, and that's pretty much the whole story of the fight. He just got Nurmagomedov 3-0, easy fight, moving on. to Mohammed Naimov versus Bogdan Grad. Oh, by the way, I picked Oban Elliott to win, by the way, so I got that one wrong too. Anyways, this fight it was a close fight, but I think Mohammed Naimov won. I think I said like robbery in the live stream, but it was because my Wi-Fi cut out in the first round, so I didn't really see it. So I went off only the last 2 rounds, and I just gave it to Grad because I thought Grad won the first round. But yeah, it was a close fight. Naimov won though, and I picked Naimov to win. A lot of people actually picked Bogdan Grad to like KO Naimov, which was very, very weird. But whatever. Moving on to Nazim Sadykhov versus Nikolas Motta. I picked Sadykhov by KO. I think it was in the 3rd round, and it happened in the 2nd round. I think this was an easy fight to predict. But yes, Sadykhov is he's like a high risk, high reward type of guy. You know, he's in there in the flame at all times, but he just seems like he has the momentum to keep winning. So yeah, I think this was an easy fight to pick in my opinion. Sadykhov by round 2, TKO or KO, whatever. Moving on to Myktybek Orolbai versus Tofiq Musayev. Let's freaking go, baby. I knew Orolbai was not going to let us down and dominate and show these other freaking promotions how we freaking do it in the UFC. And that's exactly what he did. He literally showed levels. Round 1, I think it was a Kimura that he did. It was it was a Kimura. And yeah, he showed levels. He showed him like, look, man, I know you're like a champion, you win tournament in another promotion, but UFC different. UFC show levels, and that's what he did. Orolbai showed levels. There's levels to this, okay? Moving on to Curtis Blaydes versus Rizvan Kuniev. Now, this is another fight that we needed to hold down the fort. Rizvan Kuniev came from another promotion. He had 1 fight on the Contender Series. And yeah, he wanted to fight the number 5 heavyweight. They just gave him a fight after a freaking Contender Series fight for the number 5 heavyweight in the world. It wasn't a good fight. It was a very boring fight, but Curtis Blaydes definitely won this fight. The takedowns, I mean, Curtis Blaydes couldn't take down Kuniev for shit. Like he literally that's the way he racked up control time, or whatever the judges want to call it. He just hold him against the fence when he couldn't hold it down, and that's how he pretty much that's how he pretty much stalled the fight. I think he won the first round, got destroyed the second. It was the first round Blaydes, second round Kuniev, and then the last round, these two were just tired. So when Curtis Blaydes tried to go for a takedown, and he Kuniev stuffed it, but like he ended up against the cage, and he just couldn't move against the cage. He just pretty much, Curtis Blaydes did a Mario Bautista at the last round, and he won. But whatever, split decision. Let's go, Curtis Blaydes. Hold it down the fort, I guess, even though it wasn't dominant. Moving on to Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes. How ass is Ignacio freaking Bahamondes? I mean, Rafael Fiziev definitely looked good in there. You can definitely tell that, you know, him fighting in his soil definitely, you know, gave him a boost. You know, it definitely gave him a boost. He looked good out there. Ignacio Bahamondes was throwing kicks that my unborn child that I'm probably that hasn't been born, that is not even in I don't even have a wife, nothing. My son that hasn't even been born yet could see that kick coming. He threw so many kicks that were so readable, man, that it was just sad to see. It looked like he didn't even belong. It just looked like he doesn't even deserve a ranked number beside his number. That's how bad Ignacio Bahamondes looked. You could say that Rafael Fiziev made him look that way, but the way Ignacio Bahamondes was looking in the first rounds definitely worried me. You can definitely tell in the 3rd round, Ignacio Bahamondes, then, you know, he started using his range, actually, you know, throwing combinations out there, just letting his hands go. Okay, you cannot tell me, you can't convince me that Ignacio Bahamondes looked horrible in the first 2 rounds. He literally looked absolutely trash. It wasn't competitive at all. It was close rounds, but it was definitely Fiziev rounds. In the last round, he had his best round, and he should have done that in every single round, but, you know, started off slow, whatever. Rafael Fiziev for the win. I picked Ignacio Bahamondes, by the way, to win this fight by decision, but whatever. We move on to the main event of the evening. I mean, I've said this before, bro. I've said this I've said this since I'm pretty sure I said this a long time ago, because I only have my YouTube is only like what 6-7 months old, but as long as I can remember, I've always said that Jamahal Hill has horrible footwork, man. He has horrible footwork. Now people are starting to realize how bad Jamahal Hill's footwork is. But you know what's crazy is that people don't go and check his injury history. His injury history is what destroyed this man's footwork, bro. I'm telling you, pre-injuries, Jamahal Hill looked pretty good. I said this in my prediction video. I'm not saying he would be like the best, but he will definitely look better than he looks now, bro. This man's footwork is absolutely destroyed. I picked Khalil Rountree to KO Hill in the 3rd round. That's when Khalil got his first 2 knockdowns, his first knockdown too. So it wasn't a bad, prediction, but it went decision. But Khalil Rountree absolutely destroyed Jamahal Hill's legs, man. Like, I mean, absolutely destroyed. He had Hill changing freaking stances. It got to a point that Hill wasn't even throwing low kicks. It got to that point, and then Jamahal started not showboating, but he was like, nah, it's not hurting me, even though he was getting hit clean. And I'm pretty sure they didn't. Another thing is that they didn't even count I'm pretty sure the first knockdown wasn't even counted. I think they counted it as like a slip or something, which was very weird, but whatever. Khalil Rountree definitely dominated. And what the funniest shit is the face that Jamahal Hill did at the end of the round, or not at the end of the round, when the judges or Bruce Buffer said the decision. He was surprised. This guy was surprised that he lost. I don't know if he was surprised that he lost, or he was surprised of the 40 or out of the 50-45. I don't know which one he was surprised. But you know what's crazy? Now that that just reminded me. What's crazy is that Jamahal Hill's coaches were saying that this fight was close in the stool. That is the craziest shit I've ever heard. I hope Jamahal Hill goes back and rewatches the fight and I want him to hear that, look, this fight was close. And I want him to go to his coach and fire him or something. He needs to leave that coach. That coach is absolutely delusional. This fight wasn't close at all. I don't know what the coach was saying. Oh, this fight was close. You won this round. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? This fight was not close. And then on top of that, Jamahal Hill being surprised when the card was being announced. The scorecard was being announced is even more embarrassing. He was surprised or something. I don't even know why he was surprised. Even if it was a 45, 50-45, or he got surprised that he lost, you're delusional, okay? Jamahal Hill's going down the route that he's going down the Anthony Smith route, just pure delusion. He still haven't gotten into the fetal position stage yet, but he might get there. He might beat Anthony Smith. I'm not gonna lie to you, but that's going to be it for UFC Fight Night, Hill versus Rountree. I went 7-12 on this card. It wasn't my best. This was my worst card prediction of the year. But yeah, man, I think I did get the the main event right. So, that's the most important if I'm being completely honest. But I went 7-12. This is my worst freaking prediction card of the year. So I'm not really mad at it. But we have 317 coming up. I hope you guys are there. I live stream every single pay-per-view, every single Apex card, every single fight night. So make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button again with the bell on so you don't miss the UFC 317 Fight Companion live stream. But I'll see you there, okay? I'll see you there. But with that being said, I'll see you guys very soon. Goodbye.